Battles take place in all universes. Caulifla was fighting the being that was a copy of Goku created by Cypher, the Angel of Destruction. It seemed that everything was over for the mortals of Universe 6, until the moment when Caulifla shows the result of the training he carried out to learn Ultra Instinct. After just seeing Son Goku show that performance in the Tournament of Power, Caulifla has learned to utilize Mastery and is now back on the battlefield. Meanwhile, Goku was finishing his training alongside Vegeta with the Dragon God Zephyr. At that moment, Zephyr says, "It seems that now you already know the whole truth, doesn't it? I have a simple request to make of you. Soon we will meet on the battlefield and I will be able to show my true power once I have regained all my strength. Now that I am free of these chains, there are a few places I'd like to see before I enter the battlefield. But I ask, please don't die while I'm away." From what I'm seeing, for the Daishinkan team to be victorious, you must stay alive. At that moment, Goku starts smiling next to Vegeta and says, "Do not worry, thank you very much, Dragon God Zephyr. Now we know what we are going to do." Vegeta observes the whole situation and says, "I'm pretty sure you're pretty excited for this whole situation, aren't you, Kakarot? So after the words of Dragon God Zephyr said to me, I don't care anymore that your powers are from Yamoshi's reincarnation, even because his power is still much more important than his." Vegeta starts laughing. Goku observes whatever Vegeta was trying to say. At that moment, Goku speaks. "Well done, Vegeta. I know you too will get stronger. The Infinite Saiyan power is something that is making my body's energy go higher and higher. It seems that when I activate this power, that no one can reach my level of strength. Not even the Universe 18 Angel clone was able to beat the Infinite Saiyan. Haha. I'm very curious for you to reveal all of your strength, Vegeta, soon. I'm sure that soon we will be able to show even greater power, but we still need to get out of here." At that moment, Zephyr starts to laugh and says, "Well, I believe that since you managed to get me out of those chains, the least I can do for you is to get you out of this dimension, right? Anyway, where do you intend to go?" At that moment, Zephyr creates several time rifts directly in the unknown galaxy, the ancient whereabouts of the angel Shiva of Universe 18. From the temporal rifts, it is possible to see different universes where several battles are taking place. Goku sees everything that is happening on Earth and speaks. "Damn it, what happened to Piccolo? Has Gohan achieved a new type of transformation? Broly's struggling. Gone? It's not possible. Gon is fighting an angel. Things are very complicated. Everyone is risking their lives in battle. Banzerot and Zaki keep getting more and more powerful." At that moment, Goku watches and speaks. "Hang in there, guys, but I can't go ashore yet. I'll be back soon to help them, but before I do, we need to go to him, don't we, Vegeta?" At that moment, Goku besides Vegeta smiles. Vegeta speaks. "Will that be, Kakarot? Let's go to Beerus the Destroyer. He must be waiting for us." Zephyr observes and speaks. "So what do you want to go to, your god of destruction of your universe, right? Alright, whatever, it's done." At that moment, Zephyr creates a portal directly to the planet Beerus. What do Goku and Vegeta want with Beerus? Alright partner, why don't you whack that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any videos and stay well connected to the Z Warriors universe. Let's get back to it. Planet Beerus. At that moment, many wondered why Beerus had not yet been involved in the battles, even knowing that Universe 7 and especially Earth was suffering the greatest attack. Those who won in the Tournament of Power were about to show their greatest performance, and yet Beerus didn't budge and continued on his planet of destruction alongside Whis. Beerus had not yet reached the battlefield. Goku and Vegeta, for some reason, knew why the god of destruction had not yet made his decision and was still standing on his planet. At that moment, Beerus speaks. "Looks like it's pretty close, isn't it, Whis? But we can't start yet. It seems that all this here in Universe 7 is getting more and more catastrophic. This time it seems that we are running out of choices. Mortals are being defeated and doing everything to get up and stand in their fights. I never imagined that I would have to do this again. Things seem to be getting more and more intriguing. Finally, they arrived. A time rift opens on the planet Beerus, and Goku alongside Vegeta arrives at the planet of the God of Destruction of Universe 7. Beerus had noticed that the two Saiyans were back. Beerus looks at Vegeta and says, "I hope you were able to control your power of Ultra Ego even more, Vegeta. After all, I've been waiting for a long time for you to raise more and more skills. I hope you managed to show something superior than what you showed last time. Do not let me down." Whis watches and speaks. "It seems that Mr. Beerus is wanting to test them, and by the way, they already noticed. Mr. Goku can reveal different situations about the Saiyan race, but Mr. Vegeta is totally different. Mr. Vegeta is a Saiyan prince and would never accept what happened to your race." Vegeta watches Beerus and speaks. "I got a lot stronger than you thought, Mr. Beerus, but let's get to the point. We're in the middle of a war. You should have told me that this Ultra Ego skill you were taught by the legendary Saiyan of Destruction." At that moment, Beerus looks at Vegeta and speaks. "It means someone actually told you about the past and everything that happened that time." At that moment, we have a small flashback when Zephyr told Vegeta that he had something special for him in his training. Zephyr was referring to the power of the legendary Saiyan Ultra Ego. The Saiyan legendary Ultra Ego was brought to the reference of that Saiyan, who in the past was the strongest, who with the power of destruction managed to end several planets. This Saiyan was considered the only uncontrolled being who fought for justice. The first Saiyan legendary god of destruction who used Ultra Ego. This Saiyan god was Vegeta's essence, the legendary Saiyan god of destruction, Yamazaki. At that moment, Goku starts watching and speaks. "Does that mean then that that was it, Vegeta? That's amazing. That's why you didn't care that I had powers related to Yamoshi. Haha. So that was one of the reasons you wanted to talk to Mr. Beerus." At that moment, Vegeta looks at Beerus and speaks. "It wasn't just that Beerus was the destroyer. I imagine you probably didn't want to get involved within these battles until now, because you know that the destruction spans and your entire race is fighting this celestial war, and you don't want to end this race again like you did last time to bring balance, is it not?" Goku is startled. Vegeta keeps talking. "But Mr. Beerus forgets that for a moment, he ordered Frieza to eliminate my race, and I, as a Prince of Saiyans, cannot allow that. This tremendous cowardice of the God of Destruction of Universe 7. Back then, I didn't have powers for that. But now, my legendary Ultra Ego, and for my honor, even if we are in a celestial war, I will challenge you, Beerus the Destroyer. If I win, I will decide the future of your entire race just as you did mine." Beerus starts laughing and says, "It seems that now we will be on the same coin, Vegeta. If you win, the fate of the Destruction Cats will be in your hands, all in the balance. It was the same way it always happened. I trained you for this, especially you, Vegeta, to be the future destroyer." Beerus the Destroyer has been waiting for this moment. Vegeta activates his Ultra Ego and says, "Ha ha ha ha! Let's start, Beerus, and put an end to this subject about the death of the Saiyans." Goku and Whis watch. Vegeta Ultra Ego vs. Beerus. Vegeta vs. Beerus. The battle finally takes place. Vegeta, the Prince of the Saiyans, who saw his planet destroyed by Frieza, the Emperor of the Universe. Vegeta was killed by Frieza in the past and failed to avenge his race, but the Prince of Saiyans always knew the whole truth. The one who knew death once and has been through all the toughest places is now back. Vegeta prepares himself face to face with the Destroyer. Vegeta wants to put an end to the matter of eliminating Planet Vegeta. The planet of the Saiyans had been destroyed years ago by Frieza. For a long time, everyone believed that Frieza was the real villain of everything. But Frieza already knew Beerus the Destroyer. Frieza knew that Beerus was the one who could finish off any other being that showed up. Frieza knew that Beerus possessed the energy of destruction, and any order Beerus made, everyone would obey. Beerus was the one who was considered the destroyer, and everyone was afraid. Beerus's great and monstrous power was being raised to a greater extent each time. What was Beerus planning on doing all this time? What was Beerus's true ideal? The Great Destroyer knew that at any moment he could wipe out any other being, but Beerus was lazy. He always wanted to let others make his ideals true. The Cold Demon race has always been a destructive race that wanted to conquer planets. Frieza and King Cold, as per their orders, wanted things to happen their way. That's why Beerus ordered the race of Saiyans to be eliminated, because that would bring balance. According to their reasoning, Saiyans could no longer exist because they believed that at any moment Saiyans could want to wipe out each other or destroy all of humanity. That was the thoughts of the Cats of Destruction. Shortly after that, Beerus arrives at Frieza and speaks. "Coldness, you should finish and eliminate everyone now. Your powers should be quite interesting. It would be cool for you to show your true energy, the power of destruction. I want you to now elevate your powers more and more. That will be very interesting. Show me everything you are capable of. I want to see what level you will reach." At that instant, Beerus starts smiling in front of Frieza. Frieza began to reflect. Frieza had been created to be the great destroyer of everything. Frieza was destroying everything he saw ahead. His father King Cold looked at his son Frieza and spoke. "You know we have a rather unusual goal, don't you? You know very well the reality you were brought into and why your objective must be achieved, my son. Finish them all. Let's go. Show your true strength. You are the one who will destroy anyone. Show yourself what you're capable of." At that moment, Frieza began to laugh. Frieza knew that Bardock had already suspected everything that was about to happen and the betrayal and his true goals. At that moment, Frieza started to smile. Until the next day, Frieza destroyed the Saiyan planet. Vegeta was part of Frieza's army. Ever since that day, Vegeta has thought of revenge against Frieza. Vegeta for years trained his power until the moment he was sent to Earth and discovered that there were Saiyans who were more powerful than him. Vegeta was in disbelief when he saw the powers being shown directly by Goku. It was his toughest fight yet. Vegeta did not accept Goku being a low-class Saiyan, and even so, having managed to surpass his powers. Since then, Vegeta started to want to get more and more powerful. But Goku's kindness, as time went by, allowed Vegeta to stop being an evil warrior. Vegeta saw the death of Frieza, and after several events, Vegeta ended up having a relationship with Bulma and fought to protect the Earth for several years, until the moment he became enraged again and wanted to settle accounts with Goku. Time went by and Vegeta accepted at that time that Goku was stronger. But soon after discovering that he had latent powers, he did not accept being left behind Goku. Until the moment when Vegeta faces Beerus, the one he always knew was the true mastermind of destroying his planet. Vegeta didn't know what to do. Vegeta for a certain time was trained by Beerus. At the time Vegeta was trained by Beerus, he knew that as time went by, he would get stronger and stronger. Now Vegeta is face to face with the God of Destruction. Does Vegeta now have the necessary powers to defeat Beerus? This is what Beerus has been waiting for. Vegeta says, "Beerus the Destroyer! Haha! Now we will put an end to this story." Beerus starts to laugh and says, "Very insightful, Vegeta. This will be perfect. Vegeta charges forward, running towards Beerus. Beerus looks at Vegeta and speaks. Haha, you mean you got that powerful? Who would imagine a being who for the first time he saw me was scared to death and didn't know where to move could get so far? I'm glad for that, Vegeta. You really do have the blood of a destroyer in your veins. It seems that the determination that Saiyans have is incredible. This is really fascinating. Vegeta initially activates his Ultra Ego and starts trying to land several punches on Beerus. Beerus dodges it several times and tells Vegeta, "Pay close attention, analyze this a lot. Do you think that only with that power you would be able to defeat a god of destruction?" This turns out to be very funny. Beerus starts landing several blows on Vegeta, causing Vegeta to be thrown into the rubble of planet Beerus. Goku watches and speaks. It gets surreal. It seems that the powers that a god possesses become greater and greater. Whis watches and speaks. Let's not forget that Mr. Beerus ended up training in the room of the gods before entering this celestial war. It seems that Mr. Beerus knew that extremely powerful warriors would appear, so it's no wonder that he had already prepared. But I never imagined that he believed that Mr. Vegeta could cause much trouble. At that moment, Goku says, maybe he wasn't thinking about Vegeta, but he could already imagine that Vegeta would want to have that reckoning before actually entering a war. Whis watches and says, Mr. Beerus, the god, spent a long time thinking about this from the moment he came to Earth. When he fought Lord Goku, he was going to destroy the Earth, but it seemed that something about Lord Goku and the Earthlings caused Lord Beerus's heart to soften. So that's why he's having this fight with Vegeta, because maybe even that wasn't supposed to happen. At that moment, Vegeta starts to have a big advantage over the fight against Beerus. Vegeta says, "Now, you will witness the second stage of my Ultra Ego, Beerus the Destroyer." Beerus starts laughing and says, "Does that mean that you managed to master even that?" At that moment, Vegeta activates his Ikari Ultra Ego form alongside Beerus. Vegeta says, "Get ready now, Beerus. Receive my most powerful blow. Final Flash!" At that moment, a great Final Flash is thrown at Beerus the Destroyer, and Beerus takes the full blow. Goku watches and says, "This is amazing. Was Vegeta really able to defeat Mr. Beerus?" At that moment, Whis watches and says, "I wouldn't boast so soon, Mr. Goku." At that moment, Beerus appears with an enraged face and says, "You really aren't fighting with all your might. You must have learned that from Goku. Do you really think that using half your strength, you will be able to beat me?" At that moment, great explosions begin to happen on the planet Beerus, and Beerus advances on Vegeta, dragging his face along the ground and throwing him away. Vegeta says, "What? Impossible!" Beerus watches and speaks. "Before I finish you off, I'm going to explain something, Vegeta. Saiyans that you know weren't always those Saiyans that were always just looking to conquer planets. A rebellion against the gods themselves would happen in the past, and one of these beings that King Vegeta himself, his father, knew was under the command of the other Saiyans. This Saiyan was much more powerful than his own father and made him a puppet." Who is Beerus talking about? At that moment, Vegeta watches and says, "What are you talking about?" Whis observes and speaks. "So does that mean he's going to reveal everything?" Beerus says, "Now you will know, and know the real story of the true Supreme God Saiyan. That god who was from another universe, and he alone ended up becoming the supremacy of Universe 7. Goku and Vegeta discover that the true Supreme Saiyan God is to blame for the death of all Saiyans. Beerus finally reveals the whole truth. What is happening? Goku was watching Vegeta and Beerus fight. The reckoning was being shown. Beerus the Destroyer finally reveals his true power. Beerus the Destroyer ends up telling about everything that happened before all the battles between the most powerful warriors, those who had the energy to destroy any other being. True strength was being shown. Beerus fighting Vegeta in his Ultra Ego Ikari form hadn't revealed all of his power yet, but he knew Vegeta was hiding his strength so that the God of Destruction couldn't defeat him at that moment. An enraged Beerus says, "Who do you think I am, Vegeta? Do you think that only with these mediocre blows you will be able to defeat me? I'm sure this transformation of yours is not your greatest power. Do you want a reckoning? Do you want to fight me using only that mediocre power?" All this without knowing the whole truth. I spent a lot of time caring and sacrificing for this universe just to bring it into balance. I don't know what happened during all this time, but after my time on Earth, I think my temperament ended up changing a little. I remember like it was yesterday that Saiyan. That certainly wasn't the Saiyan of my dream. This was in another supremacy. He lived in another reality of destruction. His ideals were always higher than even the Mother of Angels. She really is from another supremacy. Vegeta watches and speaks. "Who are you talking about? My father has always been the king of the Saiyan planet named after me. He was the founder of the entire Saiyan race. There is no other way to exist." At that moment, Beerus observes and speaks. "Vegeta, this is what you always believed as a child, but you are wrong. Everything was a failure. At that time, none of the Saiyans knew about other universes. They just believed in the existence of galaxies and conquests of other planets that they had already seen. However, with the gods of destruction, it was always different. The responsibilities we had to carry involved taking care of all universes and ensuring balance. Deaths were necessary for there to be peace in the future. Can you understand this? From the universes that were erased by Zeno before the destruction of the Saiyan planet. Millennia ago, we already knew about the supremacy of the Supreme Saiyan God, Banzarot. I think you must have known him by now." At that moment, Goku watches and speaks. "Banzarot is that red-haired Saiyan who ended up beside the purple-haired warrior sending us to the galaxy of the bloody angel Shiva. Do they have anything to do with the elimination of the non-Saiyan planet? How is this possible? What is Mr. Beerus trying to say?" Meanwhile, on Earth in Universe 7, the battles were getting more and more intense. Banzarot was fighting Broly alongside Gohan, who had seemingly defeated Zaki with just one blow. Until that moment, Zaki was still thrown into the rubble after Gohan, with only one hit, became enraged when he saw Piccolo's death and launched a blow directly at Zaki. Something terrible was still happening in the midst of this entire battle because Gohan knew that the worst could happen in that fight. Banzarot kept laughing, and Broly, even with the berserker instinct, his energy was getting worn out. Broly speaks. "This guy really is tough. Haha, it's getting interesting." Banzarot says, "Now I'm going to fight seriously with you, mortal Saiyan. Hahaha. As you may have noticed, all Saiyans have transformations that manage to get stronger with them, right? I've been here guarding my power because I thought it wouldn't be necessary to use it against you. But I realize that fighting many Saiyans in this universe is complicated. Because just like you who are Saiyans and have transformations, I as a Saiyan God also have extremely powerful abilities. So now it's time to show you my devastation transformation." Gohan and Broly, after hearing Banzarot's words, observe the energy of devastation. Gohan says, "What? Could this guy still get more powerful? It's not possible. Damn it, looks like the nightmare isn't over yet." At that moment, Banzarot begins to perform his transformation and the whole ground begins to shake. Banzarot says, Ha 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 ha. Now you will know my true power, and you will understand why I am considered as the true Supreme Saiyan God. Banzerot increases his strength more and more, and his hair begins to grow, looking like the hair of a Super Saiyan 3 but red in color. Banzerot with his energy is taken every time he starts talking. I haven't used this transformation in a long time, and it's amazing. I've always waited for this moment. Now I will be able to raise my strength more and more. I've been waiting for this moment for a long time. I looked for beings who were worthy of being killed by this transformation. Gohan and Broly are watching. Gohan says, "And looks like the real second round starts now. Get ready, Broly. Let's take care of this guy." Planet Beerus. Beerus starts talking about Banzerot. Banzerot is the god of destruction of Universe 18. At this time, there was no intrigue among the gods. The gods of all universes participated in celestial meetings alongside the Great Priest and Zeno-sama's guards. Flashback to the past celestial gathering. Beerus the Destroyer was beside Banzerot in conversation with the High Priest. The High Priest says, "To what do I owe the presence of all of you here?" At that moment, Banzerot was smiling and said, "Good. Grand Priest, as a measure to bring balance between the universes, we know that my race of Saiyans, if not controlled, can be a great danger, as there are already too many Saiyans in the universes. I suggest that in order to maintain balance, we destroy the Saiyans of Universe 7, since they are weaker than the Saiyans from Universe 18. I imagine that the king of the Saiyan planet of Universe 7 is very weak. He is totally manipulated by other emperors. He cannot accomplish anything else. This Saiyan cannot raise any power and serves only as a doormat of destruction. You know very well. What do we need to do to be able to emerge victorious in any other type of battle? It would be much more interesting if only Saiyans existed in my universe, so we could concentrate the true power of the strongest race. Universe 6 Saiyans could ally with me." Daishinkan just watches. Banzerot concludes, "Don't you agree with me? It would be a great waste if we stopped for all this time to think about what could happen when the Saiyans of Universe 7 have no control and end up just becoming primates with the intention of destruction. If we analyze it well to bring a balance, a race so weak that it only wants to conquer planets and eliminate all other beings can one day become a threat." Beerus eliminated his next breed of cats of destruction, so I don't see any sense in that not happening. Beerus gets angry at hearing the words Banzerot says. "We must each take care of our own universe. Don't remind me that the other gods of destruction have the right to deduce what can happen to each universe for personal interests. Each one of us here must carry out our tasks." At that moment, Beerus looks at Banzerot and speaks. "You've got to be kidding me. I will never accept the ideals and decisions you are making. Are you trying to settle this one-on-one? You will pay, and I will finish you here and now. Then we'll decide who is right and who is wrong in this situation." At that moment, Banzerot observes and speaks. "A god as inferior as you, believing that he would be able to defeat the Supreme Saiyan God. Ha 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 ha. This is a joke. I'm sorry, but I can't stop laughing, Beerus. Ha 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 ha. Grand Priest, please grant me a battle against Beerus. This way we will decide the winner. And the winner will be able to do whatever he wants with the race of Saiyans from Universe 7. At that moment, the High Priest looks on. Beerus says, "I accept the challenge." At that moment, a battlefield was formed. Beerus would fight Banzerot, the Supreme Saiyan God. Back to current times. Goku and Vegeta are watching. Whis says, "He really decided to tell the truth." Goku watches and speaks. So the culprit really isn't Mr. Beerus. At that moment, a large explosion light years away takes place. Gohan and Broly on the ground had been thrown away by Banzerot. Banzerot's ki was extremely high. Banzerot in a few had released his energy of devastation to the rubble of the land. A large bubble begins to rise from the rubble and a voice emerges. Haha, damn, it looks like I took a beating. That punch was the hardest punch I've ever taken. Haha. I even ended up sleeping because of it. It seems that now I managed to take a nap. This blow, I confess, was very strong. I thought I was going to die for an instant. The impossible happens. Zaki, the Saiyan hybrid god, stands up. Transformed Banzerot says, "Looks like now it's time for round 2, Zaki. Let's turn these two into cosmic dust." Zaki says, "Thanks, it looks like you saved me, Banzerot. I dropped my guard and that brat attacked me. Ha! It's been a while since I received such a strong blow since I fought Kai." Planet Beerus. Goku watches and speaks. Damn it, I need to go there. Vegeta keeps reflecting everything Beerus says. Vegeta watching and says, "So does that mean Beerus the Destroyer was defeated by Banzerot?" Vegeta explodes in fury. "It means that my entire race was eliminated even on the whim of another Saiyan from another universe." Vegeta explodes in fury. Beerus remains silent. Whis says, "It seems that now the overcoming of the Ultra Ego will begin." To be continued. Was Beerus really defeated by Banzerot? What really happened in the midst of all this? Alright partner, what do you believe and what do you imagine about all of this? Regardless of what it is, it's more than important that you share your thoughts in the comments below so we can get into a crazy debate. Whack that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any videos. That's all there is to it, and I'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye.